Montpellier. I'm part of the HappyDev network as well. And I'm a software developer, freelancer, and I'm also part of the Dev for Good collective. It's a collective we are trying to build to develop, promoting and develop self-hosted solutions, like open source software. I check in the participants. Benoit.
Hello. Can you hear me well?
Yes, we do.
Okay, perfect. I'm going to turn on the camera a little bit so you can recognize me. So yeah, I'm Benoit. We say Benoit, in fact, not Benoit. But so I'm French. I'm in Paris these days, and well, I've been following the projects of HappyDev for a few years now, especially the Starting Blocks project, because I'm a member of another organization, Virtual Assembly. We are working on the solid projects, and we cooperate with HappyDev. My job is mainly product management and consultancy, so I'm here more as an observer for this new project hub, and I'm very impatient to see what you can do with that. That's very interesting for me. Thank you very much. And the next one, so give me a few minutes because I have to change. Where is the list? I'm sorry because I don't know where how to Zoom. So,
No problem.
Who maybe is next to me, please?
Maybe I can help you, Eric.
Yeah. Yes, thank you.
Hi, I'm Eric. I'm from California, Silicon Valley, and I'm working on a mutual aid project right now. So happy to be here and listening to what all this is about. And go to Louis.
Hello, hi Eric. Nice to meet you. I'm the one who invited you, indeed. My name is Louis. I'm part of the cooperative Starting Blocks. I'm like a strategic advisor, so I'm helping the cooperative movement to build its strategy around the new solid standards. And for this, we are helping them to translate this through the Starting Blocks technology. So Sylvain will tell us more about Starting Blocks.
Right.
Hey, I'm Sylvain. I'm a co-founder of HappyDev and of Starting Blocks as well. So I guess we will have more time to discuss those two companies in a moment. So let's get, I don't know, Hernan Figuena.
Okay. Yes. Can you hear me? Okay.
Yes.
First of all, my internet is not working well, like always. I'm from Ficus. I'm based on Patagonia, Argentina. I'm pretty curious and excited to hear about the HappyDev work. So that's all for me. And now it's the turn of Neto.
Hi, I'm Neto from Camba, Argentina. And hi, everyone. And the next one, I have to choose the next one.
Yes.
Lucas Ferraro.
Okay. Hi, I'm Lucas from Ficus, from Buenos Aires, Argentina, in the other office of Ficus. It's good to see all of you guys here. It's really good meeting or situation. So, well, I will choose the next one. Jose Casanova.
Hello, everyone. I'm Jose. I'm partner of Naira Cooperative, another cooperative member of FACTIC. I choose my partner, Martina.
Did you choose me? I'm sorry, my internet is also really bad.
Yes.
Okay, hi everyone, I'm Martina. I'm also from Naira Cooperative in Buenos Aires. And I don't know, I arrived a little late, so I don't know who else has introduced themselves, but I'm really excited to be here and see all these new faces. So yeah, I don't know who to choose. I'm going to choose Nazca. I don't know if you have introduced already.
Yeah, I didn't. Thank you. I'm Nazca, part of Camplight, based in Sofia, Bulgaria. We are a cooperative 20 people, focusing on different kinds of projects. Like we have our own products, we're working with different partners, and I'm really happy to be part of the network and see you guys smiling and positive. So I'm going to choose Alex.
Hi everyone, I'm also glad to be here, and I'm a co-founder of both HappyDev and the Starting Blocks Cooperative we will talk about. And I pass it on to Ramiro.
Hi, my name is Ramiro from Antiques Cooperative from Argentina and member from FACTIC 2. I chose Gaby Malo from Canva.
Okay, hello everyone. Nice to meet you all. It's a pleasure to be here. I'm Gaby Malo from Canva. I am software developer, and I choose Sheban.
Got me here. I'm Stepan from Animorph from Coop Tech, based in London, also a developer. Been coming to these. We gave one little thing as show and tell last year. Hopefully more to come in the future, but very happy to see you and always just pure joy. So yeah, great to see you.
And the next one?
The next one is Santiago, still there?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I've already introduced myself.
Shit.
Sorry.
Okay, Maxime, have you been there?
Maxime?
No, I haven't. Hi, Maxime from France, member of HappyDev and also Rice4, citizen lobbying tool that uses starting blocks, and that basically is aimed at helping people contact their elected officials. And happy to be here and see so many Argentinians. Love Argentina, it's awesome. I'm seeing a mate all over and all, it's cool. Can't wait to see what's up.
Great, thank you. We have 1 more minute to finish the introduction part, so let's make it quick.
Well,
brief.
Flor, I think she hasn't talked.
Okay, perfect. Hello, everyone. I'm Flor. I'm from Canva. I'm a developer, and it's a pleasure to can listen your work. So let's go. I think that maybe Juan want to introduce himself. I don't remember exactly what person.
Yes. Hello, my name is Juan. I'm from Rosario, also from Argentina. I'm working on Texo, that is a cooperative software, and maybe Chris, who is from Texo too, want to present himself.
Hi Juan, yes, I'm from Texo as well, here based in Argentina. I'm in Buenos Aires, and well, I'm pretty excited to be here and see so many faces. It's really nice to be part of this. Thank you. And I don't know who else is missing. Has Pierre introduced himself already?
Hi guys, I'm Pierre. I'm glad to be here, and I'm self-employed. And I pass it on to Christian. Yeah.
Me again? Right back at me.
Martina left.
Martina.
Yeah.
Oh, Martina. Okay. No, Martina has already introduced herself.
Oh, yeah.
I think.
So I will make it simpler. Who else didn't present it and wants to speak? And then we can move on to the show and tell in order to make it quicker. Yes, Facu.
I'm Facu from Argentina, Quilmes, also a member of Canva.
Great.
And Damian didn't introduce himself.
Okay.
His microphone is not working. That's
okay.
Okay. So I assume, sorry if someone didn't introduce, but we are running out of time. So maybe we can start the presentation. I don't know who will be like presenting, Luis or Alex.
I assume I take care of it. Don't
Okay.
hesitate to complete what I'm saying, guys. I'm in both Louis and Sylvain.
Okay. You can start, please. Thank you.
So then I start. I'm trying to share my screen. Wait a minute.
Yeah, no problem.
Do you guys see my screen?
Yes.
Yes.
Excellent. So then I start. So we founded HappyDev in 2015, 2014, if we count like historically. HappyDev is a network of freelancers in France mostly, and a little bit as well in England now. It's gathering a little bit more than 600 freelancers in France, and it's organized around local collectives, but kind of intermesh with each other and share both human resources, namely like the freelancers of their respective network, of their local network, and also business opportunities. Like basically what happens is that clients contact us all the time, and we constantly lack resources to respond to our client needs, and so we reach back to the other collectives in Bordeaux, Paris, Marseille, etc., to find a PHP developer, a UX designer, whatever, but we are currently missing in our local collective, and that's how we work with each other. Just to wrap up the HappyDev presentation, at the local level, the way it's organized is that everybody is self-employed, everybody is a freelancer, and we create local companies that freelancers can become partner of with equal shares, basically, and those freelancers end up managing the company, finding other freelancers to work with, etc., etc., and that's more or less how the network grew so far. And back in 2018, so we reached about 300 freelancers in the network at that time, and we needed to develop our own tools. And so we asked ourselves what it meant to develop our own tools, and we had basically two alternatives facing us. One was to develop our own custom tool, and that would have been kind of like, I don't know, a discourse or whatever, something closed, something self-centered with only our community in it. And we were feeling that wasn't the way, meaning that our need on a daily basis is to find resources all the time. And so to us, it was not making any sense to design a closed environment, whereas what we wanted was to have access to the whole market, basically to all freelancers wanting to work with us. And we were already in contact with Coop Tech and with dozens of other organizations in France at that time. And so our goal was to be able to work with them better on a daily basis, and not sharing tools was a big hurdle towards that goal, meaning that we had to rely on email communications or to find each other on the phone to work together. And we wanted to avoid that. We wanted to have tools that would allow us to work together on a daily basis. And so one option was to develop a closed tool and to bring everybody in it. And another option was to basically build an open platform, kind of like, I don't know, Upwork or freelancers.com, whatever. And then it would have meant that we would have become the algorithm that will decide if you get paid or not, if you have work or not, and we would even influence your rate and all, because that's the algorithm decided who gets to find who. So we didn't want to be in those positions, and so we found kind of a middle way, which was to develop our own tool, but an interoperable tool, something that we could connect with other tools, so that we would have the advantages of both worlds, of an open platform with a lot of network effect, being able to find dozens of thousands of freelancers with many clients attracted by this whole ecosystem, and still let each organization in this ecosystem to choose its own rules regarding our algorithm, who appears first when I type PHP developer, for example, and whatnot. And so that's basically what we did since then. So we have been working on that for 2 years now. The tools look like this. So I'm first going to show you what the tools look like, just so you have an idea, and then I'll explain to you the technical logic behind them. So it's branded for HappyDev Paris here, but don't focus too much on this. Like those are open source, and you can tweak it the way you want. It basically relies around 3 main features today that and more are coming in the near future. The first feature is a job board where we can share business opportunities, and people can actually hop on the conversation saying, I'm interested in this or that. And that's it. So that allows us to share to the whole network the need we currently have as a freelancer to attend our client needs and to find people around us that are available to tackle the job with us. The specificity on this is that, again, it's what we call interoperable, meaning that it's not only gathering the HappyDev Paris community, but HappyDev Paris can actually interconnect with other organizations. And so the members of those organizations can actually see those job opportunities according to their privacy status. Like when you publish an offer, you can decide if it's public or private and who can see it, but you can make it so several communities can see it, and they can bid on it, say I'm interested in it. The same logic goes with the directory of profiles. So sometimes what you want to do is to say, hey, I have this need, would any of you be able to help me? Sometimes what you want to do is to cherry pick someone with a specific set of skills. So we build that facet of the application as well, with basically a directory of profile where we can filter on certain skills and see people from, again, our own organizations and the organizations we connected with, and basically a Slack-like, that is a chat where we can have group discussions. Sorry about this. Group discussions and one-to-one discussions. Today, this is where we are at. We have the chat version that is working, and we will soon have, like by the end of June, we will have both the directory of profile and the job board. And so now that I have introduced to you the tools we developed, I mentioned several times that we made them open source and interoperable. So I will dive a little bit more into what that means. So first of all, what do we mean by interoperable? And interoperable basically means that the app can exchange data with other applications, and that relies on standardizing the API. That's as simple as that. Like nowadays, we are in a world where every application codes its own API, and it's a bit absurd, so that none of our applications is able to talk with each other. And the W3C kind of solved that problem in 2017. They've been working on that for 20 years, and they came up with a set of standards that basically standardizes the API level of our application. I will present to you what it means concretely to standardize an API. So here you have a concrete example of what's an API. It's Alice profile. It's a community manager of starting blocks. So this is a profile pushed through our API, and so it looks like simple JSON. It's standardizing it. It's not fairly complex. I'll go into more details now. So what we do is that we add this part, actually, the context. And what the context does, it's really, really simple, is that it links to that thing. It provides a context to the API, and the context is basically a dictionary. So it gives a certain set. The context is basically a list of dictionaries of different vocabularies, and it specifies what it means when I say get full name in my API. It means RDFS label, and RDFS label is something standardized. So when I say get full name, what I mean is that thing in the standard, and so your applications can say NOMI or whatever, and if we all translate our fields to something that is standardized, our APIs can understand each other. So my application can plug onto your server and vice versa. There is another concept that is worth understanding. It's the concept of containers. A container can be anything, and it's just a way to structure the API. So a container provides a URL where it's accessible, and with the property LDP contain, it lists the things it contains, as simple as that. So a circle, which is a channel, a group chat in our application. So a circle is just a container of members, and here you have the detail of how it's represented in the API, and it's really that simple. And so we based the whole architecture around this application. One thing I'll mention as well is the permission. The ACL is handled via the API as well. It's also standardized so that how can I say that the way you express who has the permission to do what in the application is also standardized. Facing that reality, so in 2018, we thought, okay, we really want to build an application on top of this specification, and it turned out not to be that trivial, because when you start coding, you realize it's not that simple. You have around 20 different standards that you need to respect. And what we ended up doing is a framework that helps us to easily build interoperable applications. So that's what Starting Blocks is. Starting Blocks is a web framework. It's based on web components, if some of you are familiar with web components. And it allows any of us to build interoperable application using only HTML code. That's the kind of the beauty of it. We try to make it as simple as possible, and by entering HTML tag, you can build a full-fledged application. Like what we do is that we develop components. A component, it's like a router is a component in our world, or a profile directory is a component, a chat is a component. So we have ready-made components that one can pick and choose, like this here on the left. to build a complete application with it, and all that using only HTML. And that application is interoperable, meaning it can interconnect with other applications if the use cases make sense. So I will now dive into how this works to show you what we ended up building, basically. So the idea is to, again, we try to make building an interoperable app as simple as possible. And so we provide the developer of the application with HTML tag that access a data source. That data source, I will show you what's inside of it here. The data source is what I showed you just now, meaning it's a standardized API in the W3C sense of the word standardized. Here it doesn't contain much. It's just a hello world inside a container. And what we do here is we build a component called zip display. And if you build a data source to zip display, it displays the data. So if it's just a container containing something called hello world, it displays it. If it's a list of users, it also displays it. So if you take SIB display, pass it a list of users and say, I want the first name and the last name, then you get just that. If you say, I want to create a div, but I would like assign the class full name to it, pass it first name, last name, and then display the email, then you get just that. And that's, I think you get the whole logic of the framework. We expanded on that. You get special widgets so that if you want to display your email not just with plain text but with something clickable, then you use the dedicated mail to widget, and you get something you can click on, etc., etc. So you can like make it more complex. You get to gain filters so that if I add search fields to my display, then on top of displaying data, I can filter it. And again, only using this bit of HTML, like that you set correctly. So far we have mostly seen zip display to display data. You can do kind of the opposite thing. Instead of displaying data, you can create data. For that, you would use SIB form. SIB form works exactly the same. You provide it a data source. The data source is a container. So the container of your users, you can display it, and you display all your users, but you can also post on it. And if you post on it, you create a user. That's what the standard says. The standard, it's basically REST API, right? If you're familiar with that concept, and so you can display this whole form right here, just using this bit of HTML. So you use SIB form, you pass it the right parameters. You say, I want the first name, the last name gathered in a div plus the email, and if you post on that, if you submit that query, boom, you get to create a new user. You get also, like, we created dozens of components, but SIB router is one of the core one, where you end up having it works for two functions. One is navigation in the app. If you enter something if you enter an inner text in the SIB route, it gets to display it on the screen. If you don't, you can, how can I say that? It acts as the router of your application. So if you display for example, here the list of users, and you say next, if I click on my user, I want to edit it, Then if you click on your user, you end up on its form, and you can then actually edit it thanks to this little router here. And again, like the beauty of this is that you only have written a few lines of HTML and you get a working application. As I said, if you fill your route, you end up having a menu. So here you get to have show user and add a new user. You can click add a new user and create Alex Collier, tac, 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 and you can actually create it. Come back to users, etc. What else can I show you? That's it. I think we reached the end of this presentation. So that's basically to show you what we like, the kind of framework we build. So I've shown you the atomic components, like the most simple parts of the framework that helps us build full-fledged application, and then you can complexify, and I'll show you that we built much more elaborate components. Using that framework, we build this interoperable application. So as I said today, we mostly have a chat. We are both working on the directory and the job board, profile directory and the job board. I will show you the code of the application so that you really quickly, so that you get an idea of how it's built. Was supposed to be around here, so wait for a minute. I need to find it back. Probably here, indeed. So this is the code of this application. So in 300 lines of HTML, we got to build. We are not that disclosed, but basically the equivalent of Slack, basically. It's and we are. I'll dive now into the SIB directory. So just to switch back to the mockups. So I'm going to show you the code of this part only. So this, in our world, this whole feature, this profile directory feature, it's a component. It can be added in a single line of HTML in your application. And I'll show you how the component, the SIB component, SIB directory, I'll show you how it's coded. And so this is the repository of the SIB directory component. It's basically composed of 3 different files. One to handle the listing of profiles, and it's 150 lines of HTML of things I've just showed you. Meaning, for instance, you get a SIB display that is plugged on the list of users, and then a set of parameters to tell those are the filters I want to display. So all the search blah blah blah, search blah 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 are the filters that you see here, basically. And then we decide what fields I want to display. So I want to display the picture of my user, its first name, his last name, blah blah blah. I think you get the idea. And then a few more classes and widgets that we add to it, so that we can see the little chat button here and actually get to style it properly with CSS. And you get like, and that's it. That's basically what displays this listing part of the profile directory. And the same goes on with the profile part of the profile directory. If you consider that page like my profile page, then it's again the same thing, and I will stop after that. It's like you get it in 150 line of HTML. That is again based on the same logic, but you get a SIB display to which you pass a source of data with here a picture, and then here a few fields that we want to display, a name, blah, 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 you get the idea. Then you get to have this full page, having used only HTML. And so our goal in this presentation is to try to convince you that it's now really simple to build interoperable tools. That means we can all have our own applications that we can self-host and do whatever we want with them, and still be able to work with each other on a daily basis to interconnect with each other through our applications, to be able to share projects, to be able to find our different members according to their skills, according to their passions, to take part of group discussions, and probably tomorrow much more, maybe share some events together and whatnot. And I think that's it. That's what I wanted to share with you.
Great. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much. I think it's great. It's great also because we are now thinking about building our own tool in Factic, for example. And I think this is a great opportunity to start thinking in this same way, you know, to create something that is interoperable, as you said, in order to being communicated between our networks, you know, to really start sharing things in real time and to build tools that keep us connected as much as we can, you know, to be stronger as networks. So I really appreciate your presentation and this opportunity you are presenting us to build something similar in order to keep growing, you know. So thank you very much. I don't know if someone has any question, we can like start making questions. I don't know if you have. I have one, but I want someone else to speak. So if you have a question,
Stepan raised his hand.
Neto too.
Yeah, but go first.
Yeah, so I can yeah, thanks for that. We've been aware that you're doing that because we kind of met, and also more recently Ellie from your crew spoke to us. So we are interested in that because we've been trying to develop something like that at Coop Tech, and we've been doing skills audit and collected this spreadsheet which shows like every person in different co-op, which technologies they specialize in, and that's like from 0 to 100, and then also how much they want to do it. So they might be very good at it, but they don't want to do it, or you know they're very crap, but they want to do it. So we have this data, but we never really managed to convert it into something that is usable, and that's kind of where starting blocks appeared, and some people said that they'll put up starting blocks as an instance last year, and then that didn't happen because there was this new thing coming, and then the new thing coming, I guess, is what you were just talking about. So I would like to get maybe, you know, just like sort of slight explanation. Is the new thing made of starting blocks? So then whatever you want the new thing to be extended, you need to build code in starting blocks so that then you just write HTML to provide the functionalities. And then what kind of functionalities are you delivering by the end of June, just to get clarification, and when could we start using it?
Thank you for your questions, and I realize I'm really sorry for the confusion. I realize we do a poor job at communicating, and so starting blocks is the framework. I think you got that, and what we are trying to do now is to package it. We try to package it in a sexy way for the average dude that doesn't understand code and think, I want to use an application, and we say we have Hubble. We call it Hubble now. So we say we have Hubble. It comprises 3 features, which is chat, profile directory, and the board. And so we market it as a single app. So it's a new thing in terms of marketing. So we try to make it as sexy so that people can say, should I use Hubble or Slack? And to most people, it makes sense to think of it in that sense. We think of it as a set of components based on starting blocks that you can just assemble or disassemble and use in a unitary fashion. And by the end of June, what's basically ready are the chat, which is already there, the profile directory, and the job board. and we package it in an application that we call Hubble, so that non-tech people can say, I want a Hubble instance, just like I have a Slack instance, and that they completely whisk away the complexity of the whole thing.
No,
Perfect.
I just
Yeah,
wanted
so
to
that's
say
it.
thank you for sharing. Nothing else.
My pleasure.
Yeah, I guess we just wanted to bring back to just was thinking of bring it back to other co-ops and Coop Tech to sort of like where do we come in to contribute to starting blocks, I presume. I mean, you know, everyone loves HTML, but I don't know if everyone loves writing it. But I guess building new elements to the framework to make it you know, international sort of thing that could be a thing. I feel like it's really needed, that's for sure. But the question is whether we can get all behind.
I'm not sure I got your question. Is your question how can we contribute, or is your question what's your question?
Yeah, my question is about the extending. Have you got a vision for extending starting blocks? So, for instance, as I mentioned with those spreadsheets that we have. For instance, you know, this could be like, you know, like you have inventory in RPG game or something. You know, you have like the skills people have, but like this can be quite granular. So we could, let's say, I don't know, write this you know, REST API like solid you know, JSON template, you know, full of dictionaries, and that would be you know, something that might already exist. We don't know. So I guess maybe some sort of hackathon will be.
Yeah, and we plan to organize many of them to get the developers more familiar both with the solid world and the starting blocks technology. If you're interested in this, I can totally put you in touch with Alice, which is kind of organizing the dynamic around the developers of the technology. I do that.
Also, maybe what I would just like to add, Alex, so there is a clear interest for you know, making our different tools interoperable and capitalize on the network effects. That's why we are working with the International Cooperative Alliance. We have been developing with them distributed library. So for them, like, their focus is obviously on promoting entrepreneurship and sharing knowledge, but like they use our technology and they use our standards. You know, we go brick by brick, hoping that one day it will create a more integrated ecosystem. But like every time a client or an organization, a cooperative organization is using this, is hoping that they will be able to, you know, connect their apps to their cooperative ecosystem.
Yes, thank you. What I was thinking is that this doesn't end here. You know, it's like this is just the beginning of something. I don't know. It's like maybe we can keep talking about this and see how can, I don't know, we implement this in our network, for instance. I don't know, to arrange a, I don't know, a hackathon, something like that, in order to speak with you again and just start like coding and trying to create something at least like small, but to start with something. I don't know. It's just the first thing that came to my mind. You know, it's like we have to start building something. And I have one question. It's like, well, two questions, but we'll start with the first one. It's like, do you have any metrics that indicate how many opportunities are currently like circulating in your network? It's like, do you have a lot of opportunities like coming every time? That's why you need to create this tool, or you just created this tool in order to create more opportunities to encourage people to which was the I don't know, the road?
At the moment, the only tool we had in HappyDev was a chat. We had a Rocket Chat instance. I don't know if you're familiar with it, but it's kind of an open source equivalent to Slack. So we had only that, and sharing job opportunities was a real pain with it, and finding someone with a specific skill was also a pain in the HappyDev network. And we did, like Chepan said, we had Excel spreadsheets in and there, but it was a pain. And so we developed the tools to make those two workflows smoother, and as well to be able to interconnect with organizations we wanted to work with. As I said earlier, we pre-COVID, because right now the thing is almost dead, pre-coronavirus crisis, we had between 5 and 10 deals, inbound deals coming in the HappyDev network per week. Was around, the average deal flow was around it. And we started the tool with the idea to interconnect with organizations we wanted to work with but were not. Like, we were working with them when I was sending an email saying, we have this project, or I was calling someone, but if I was not doing it, then it was not happening. And so it was happening on some specific occasions when people were actually bridging between organizations, but we were too much relying on specific initiatives, and that was not scalable. So that's mostly why we decided to develop the tool, so that we can interconnect and bridge our organizations together. I strongly believe in the network effect. I think we're all on WhatsApp because of network effect. I think we do this call on Zoom because of network effect. And I think if we want to build tools that will succeed, we need network effect as well. We need a lot of people to work with in our tools. We need a lot of deals in our tools, and interconnecting with each other will bring us that. And it's either this or go to a centralized platform, but I don't think there is I see this as the two alternatives, I think.
Great, I totally agree. Yeah. So almost 1 hour have passed. I don't know, we are reaching the limit of these show and tells in order to keep them shorter, and we can do another one about this thing. I have a lot of questions, and I'm thinking, I don't know, about the implementation, but there are a lot of questions. I don't know if anyone has a question now that wants to make or something like that, or we can just end this show and tell and keep thinking about how to implement this, and we can talk again as soon as we can. I don't know. Someone want to ask something, or we can just
Is there a place where we can, you're saying you have a lot of questions, is there a place we can keep the conversation going on so that we can, share the different questions and answers somewhere?
We can create a channel in the global chat.
Yes, it's a really good. Yeah.
I don't know if all of you knows about the.
I was thinking.
Go, Nico.
No, I was going to say exactly the same. So it's the same if I say it or if you say it. So it's the same. We have an international chat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we all gather up on Coop Tech chat, right?
Let's say it at the same time.
We have two forums. One is in Patio, the other one is in Coop Tech. They are exactly the same, I think. Well, quite the same. We have a chat where we all the cooperatives are talking, and it's a global chat. You can join them, and we can create a channel specific for this. I think it's a good place because it's a place where all the networks go and talk between each other. So it's a common place for networks. So we can send you the link to join, and you can spread the link, and we can create this channel and start talking there. Do you agree? Great.
Yeah, sounds cool.
Great. Thank you very much. We can just end this show and tell. Thank you a lot. It was really interesting, your presentation, and thank you for all this work you have been doing. And that's it for me. Thank you very much. I don't know if someone has to say something, or we can just end the call. Okay, so cool. Keep safe.
Sorry, I shared the links
Yeah.
of the forum and the chat.
Okay. Thank you, Neto. Well,
Yeah,
thank you.
And thank you everyone for attending.
Thank you very much. Goodbye.
Thank you. Bye bye.
A pleasure to see you all.
Bye.
Bye bye.